Hello, my fellow Americans. My name is Cursino, and you've seen me many a times here. I'm just a ordinary man in my ordinary house with my ordinary clothes hanging on my shirt chair here as I relax, watching another sunrise and being blessed to still be on this planet. Our President of the United States of America is Joseph Biden. Yep, he was Vice President of the United States of America, and now he is the President of the United States of America. And Joseph Biden would like the whole world to know that he's a good guy. He's a downhearted American as he's gulping down the pizza with the troops. I'm just one of the guys. No, you're not one of the guys. You are the commander in chief. And I don't feel safe in this country with you as president. Do you know why? Because you seem to care about everyone else on this planet that does not resemble me. Even though people that resemble or look like me or have my complexion help put you in office. Not me, though. Now, I remember you telling the American public that the U.S. sanctions against Russia weren't expected to prevent anything from happening, right? In the Ukraine conflict, you claim that you leverage powerful punishments against Vladimir Putin, which stopped the Eastern European in his tracks. A Russian dictator invading a foreign country, right? They was like it has its cost around the world. And you were taking robust actions to prevent and make sure that the pain of the sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy. 24 hours later, the press secretary, which is Ben Psaki, said, Jen Psaki said that, what did she say? She said the sanctions are meant to have a well, she said a deterrent impact against Russia, right? And all of these sanctions are going to stop Putin from invading Ukraine. Well, I think he was prepared for that. I remember Biden told us, I'll always be honest with you, as I've always promised. Well, we know that's a lie. When you know a president's gonna lie to you, they'll start off with, I'll always be honest with you. If they say something like that, you know they full of it. Well, the plan is what you're gonna do about the inflation. The solution to inflation is lower your costs, right? That's what Biden claims. Biden claims the solution was to lower your costs, not your wages. But anywhere with a brain knows in order to do that, you got to stay open. Companies must raise their prices to pay for increasing expensive goods. If businesses are forced to raise their wages, They will also raise prices for consumers who have to bear the burden or suffer the consequences of understaffing. Right? Well, people have tax plans, and that will lower costs and the deficit. These are lies. None of this is happening. His plan to fight inflation, right, will lower your costs and lower the deficit. So he claimed. Now, the truth, however, is that Biden tax plan is totaling 367 billion over the next 2022 or to 2031, not continuing or not counting any revenue that's been generated by additional funding for tax enforcement. Biden's tax plan by the Tax Policy Center reports that Biden tax plan will raise taxes by 75% of families in 1 year and 95% in 10 years. Another Biden tail of the tape. I remember Biden said, Build Back Broke is fully paid for. That's another Biden lie. See, Build Back Broke will add about $367 billion to the country's deficit. Oh my God. Anybody making less than 400,000 doesn't have to pay more taxes. Another Biden lie. Biden also repeated that favorite falsehood of his over and over again. However, that promise not to raise those taxes on making less than 400,000 a year is not realistic because those who fall below that mark are still subject to the consequences of high taxed economy. So you just repeated that lie, and buddy, everybody's paying the tax of inflation. Sarah, Sarah. Now, Biden said funding the police is necessary. But your Democratic Party, your vice president, and everybody else is talking about defunding the police. I'm not joking. This is what was transpiring in this nation's history. This whole country. They talking about defunding the police in the same breath as they talking about taking care of them. I mean, getting rid of them, and Biden is talking about, no, we want to need them. We need them. Okay, well, let's see.
So we've been talking about defunding the police.
There's some issues that we ask police to do, like mental health issues or policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Not only do we need to just invest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
So yes, defund your butts. Defund you.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources from NYPD.
We will be moving funding from the NYPD to youth initiatives and social services.
They are talking about reducing the allocation of resources to that department. And I think every single
sitting in this country ought to be thinking about the same thing.
Yes, I support the defund movement. I'm for responsible reallocation of resources.
And defund the police.
I think you do all those other things, you don't need all the money that's going to the police department. So yeah, I mean, the spirit of it, I do support that.
Yeah, and a lot of us were asked if we could imagine a future without police back in 2017 when we were running for office. And I answered yes to that question.
We are going to reduce funding in the police department and redirect that money.
There's no reason for the police budget to just keep growing and growing and growing. They can make sensible cuts.
We propose to redirect over $7 million from the police bureau.
That our city, through our city administrative officer, identified $250 million in cuts.
Rashida Tlaib tweeting, "No more policing, incarceration, and militarization. It can't be reformed."
When they're saying defund the police, what are they saying? They're saying we want fundamental, basic change when it comes to policing. And they're right.
We are reallocating funds. The police department here in Minneapolis needs to be dismantled, and we need to start anew.
In some necessary cases, completely dismantling those police forces.
Police departments are taking a sizable amount of the budget of a lot of municipalities and other entities. We need to look at those budgets, pull some of the money back, and invest it in other things.
We are committed to shifting resources.
Our call to defund the police have been met with resistance.
To stop investing so much money in this militarized police force and instead invest in the things our community really needs.
Yes, I support a radical reimagining of community safety.
So what you're hearing is all of these people are Democrats. Every single one who are talking about defunding the police those people were Democrat, you just heard. Now, when you defund them, who's taking over? Who's governing? Who's doing all of the things to protect you? Now, when they're breaking in your home, breaking in your cars, people are out there taking, and you don't have the energy to stop it yourself, who are you going to call? You've just defunded the police. So now you're going to police yourself? That's what they were trying to do. But instead of defunding, we need retooling, reteaching. We need strenuous tests to determine background checks on these people to make sure where they come from and not just color base it. They try to disqualify the Black community right away, but meanwhile, everyone else get to do what they want to do. We have to stop that while it's in play. Now I need to go get some sleep. So I'm out.